Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful day today as it starts to rain here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. Today, we're going to be hopefully destroying a level 4 plate from LA Police Gear. Now, before we get into all of that, LA Police Gear did send out a couple plates to me, one that I'm going to destroy right here, or at least attempt to, with a bunch of different calibers, some things that you don't really see on other channels, some stuff that it is rated for and some stuff that it is not rated for. But they did send it out to me for free, so I did not pay for this. On top of this, I also have an affiliate link with them. It's on my website and it might be linked in the description as well. So if you purchase something from them, I make like 7% off of it, so keep that in mind throughout this video. And I'm also giving away the other plate to one of my Subscribe-Star members. Again, Subscribe-Star is basically just a pro to a Patreon, and you can join there for as little as $2 a month and get entered in all of my giveaways. On top of that, if you want to support the channel, you can buy steel plates for me. We should have our new steel plates in soon. Again, we've had some delays with the supplier of material. Now, just some basic specs on the plates themselves before we destroy them. They retail for around $100 to $115, depending on when they're in stock. They're about 6.5 pounds, a little bit under an inch thick, and they're a hybrid material, so they're part ceramic, part PE, which is a pretty good combo, and again, a very, very affordable price for body armor. Around $100 is about the cheapest it will go. They fit in every plate carrier that I own, which is only a couple of really cheap one and a fairly nice one, or at least a decent one, I would say. So the fit is really good. They are a little thicker than some of your ultra lightweight, your level 3 plates or your level 3 plus plates, but again, for about $115 at only 6.5 pounds of plate, that's still really good. So today we're going to start off shooting it with some 300 Win Mag, which generally is not something that you would rate because it's a very, very hot round. It's very, very fast, and today we're going to be using 150 grain ammunition. Now, the ammunition is soft point, so it's not going to have the best penetration, but it's still cooking at around 3,000 FPS with a very heavy slug, which again, speed is one of the most important factors for penetration of body armor. You have speed, you have the actual material, so you want something that's hard. Where the soft point is not going to be very good is, of course, it's not a very hard projectile. Sectional density is also a very important factor, and a 150 grain 330 caliber slug isn't the highest sectional density, but it's still much better than like 55 grain or 62 grain light armor piercing ammunition for 5.56, which we will also test in just a minute. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's shoot it a couple times with 300 Win Mag and see how it does. So like I said, we're going to go ahead and get started with 300 Win Mag. This is a Thompson Center chambered in 300 Win Mag, which is about the most budget gun that I would go with for 300 Win Mag. I'm going to have a review on this soon. It does have some good things and it also has some bad things. Again, for only about $300, there's not really a whole lot to complain about. So if I haven't already mentioned it, we're about 10 yards away. The plate is directly perpendicular to us, and it has about 30 pounds of clay in a box, so it has a good backing material, not a super hard backing, just to give it a little bit of give, but it does have a decent backing to hopefully replicate kind of how it behaves in an NIJ test. Of course, this is not very scientific. So let's go ahead and take a shot and see how it does. Cool. So as far as 300 Win Mag goes, I'm pretty sure we're only going to shoot that once, just because it pretty much destroyed about half the plate. It did stop it, and remember, it's not rated for that, but it did stop it. But we're only going to shoot it once, because if I shoot the other side with it, it's going to rip apart that side, and then it's not going to stop anything else. So now we're going to go to 62 grain green tip. We're going to shoot the other side, then we'll go to some 308 and some different calibers as well. So next up, we're going to do some 62 grain green tip ammunition. We're going to shoot it 5 times on the right side of the target, try to space them out just a little bit so we give the plate as good of a chance of stopping it. Again, I think it's rated to stop like 6 of these or 2 30-06 162 grain AP. So that test was really difficult. Again, we're only at about maybe 10 yards. 16-inch barrel on here, so we're getting like maybe 2,900 FPS out of this 62 grain with a steel penetrator. Not really armor piercing ammunition, but it is definitely a lot harder than your standard just FMJ round. So here is what's left of the plate after our 6 impacts. Now, if you notice, oh gosh, the whole thing is broken apart inside. But if you notice, we have 300 Win Mag, 5.56, 5.56, 556, really small hole. Stopped it really good. Back force deformation on the back, of course, but stopped it, of course. And then we have these two really small ones. Now, I was trying to work my way down here, but the height of her bore didn't really take that into account too much. So these hit really low. There's just two really tiny holes down here. Might not even be able to see them, because what happened is they came through, they didn't penetrate out the back here, but they came through, hit resistance, and then deflected down this way. So they're not in there, which isn't good, obviously, but better than hitting something like your lungs or something like that. And again, these are just right at the edge of the plate. So that's more my bad than the plate's bad. And you can see some of the jacket coming out here. But yeah, it is absolutely destroyed. Something to know, always wear eye protection when you're shooting this stuff, which I was wearing eye protection, of course, because I had a bunch of this ceramic stuff come right back at me with that first shot. And you'll probably see it in the slow-mo, but a lot of that stuff came, and I'm like 30 feet away, and it flew at me, just peppered my face with a bunch of junk. So we're not quite done with this yet. We have some 308. We're going to be shooting 145 grain Wolf, which has a steel jacket, or a steel and a brass jacket, so, or copper jacket, whatever it is. Anyways, bimetal jacket. So it does have some steel in there, so it's going to be pretty hard. Out of a 20-inch barrel, so we're getting about as good a velocity as we can with 145 grain projectile. We're going to try and do 2 more shots down here, and then I might try and do 1 or 2 up here as well. And then we'll try maybe 7.62 by 39 if it is still passing, because we have not yet had a pass through. We had a couple deflections here on the bottom, but again, that's just because I put the rounds too low. Alrighty, so next up, we're going to be doing, like I said, 145 grain Wolf with a bimetal jacket. So it does have a little bit of steel in the jacket, so it's a little bit nastier on like steel targets and probably body armor as well. 20-inch AR-10 upper receiver. This one here is from Berkeley Arsenal. I have a video on this one. Really, really cool. But we're going to go ahead, try and do 4 rounds in different spots and see if that'll still hold the plate together, because at that point the entire plate will have been shot, or every basic area of the plate will have been shot, and we'll see if it's still stopping stuff, and then we'll just go back to 5.56 and finish it off, I think. So as you guys might be able to tell, I'm still a little bit perplexed, because while it looks absolutely destroyed, it still hasn't had a pass through. So what's happening there is the clay in the box has been pushed back away from it. So as you see here, I had multiple hits right here because I was trying to finish it off. And what's happening is, because it's allowed to move backwards a little bit, it's flexing inwards and allowing it to absorb a lot of that recoil. I don't think it's going up. I think they are trapped somewhere in here, because there is, again, an immense amount of back force deformation. But there's at least 2 145 grain slugs like right here. And there's another one down here where, again, it started to pull away at the material, but again, did not pass through. And there's another big chunk here, which again, this is in the same spot as a 5.56, and still no pass through on the back. So even though this thing looks absolutely destroyed, might need to redo the clay, or add a little bit more clay so it has a little bit of a harder backing on it. And this area, I mean, it's toast on the inside. You can tell that it's turned into dust essentially on the inside, for because that's what the ceramic is supposed to do, to slow down projectiles. But we will see how it does, and maybe shoot it a couple more times, like right in here with 5.56. Alrighty, so here we go. Once again, we're going to be doing 5 more rounds of 62 grain green tip ammunition, M855 to be specific, and we're going to go ahead and see if we can get it to fail now. Okay guys, so I'm not really sure how, but it still has not penetrated. It looks absolutely destroyed. There are massive chunks of the ceramic just 100% gone from it, to where it's now just down to the back layer of the PE material, which is literally still stopping everything so far. So I think a couple more of these guys should do the trick. Now that there is not all that ceramic in the way, I think both of these guys are going to punch right through it. Again, this is 150 grain, 300 Win Mag. Wish it wasn't FMJ, but again, FMJ is what I could find right now. It's hard to find a 130 to 150 grain FMJ loading for 300 Win Mag. Alrighty, well, there it is, guys. Finally, I put 2 rounds right here, and they did end up penetrating on the backside, but I mean, just look at this thing. It gave literally every single thing it had, and it managed to stop a whole crap ton of things. I think so. It stopped one 300 Win Mag at the very beginning. It stopped 10 62 grain 5.56 penetrator rounds, and then it also stopped 5 308 rounds. So it stopped 16 rounds of high-powered rounds at that before it eventually gave up the ghost again with the second and third 300 Win Mag, which again, it's not even rated for that to begin with. So yeah, definitely multi-hit rated, definitely very, very impressive performance. I would say the way it held together and the way it's still at least kind of in its standard shape, if you will. It is now about 3 to 4 inches wide or long in some areas, because you can tell it held on to those bullets as long as it could and slowed them down, again, as much as it could, but eventually, you know, with only the PE material there, it's not going to be able to stop something moving so fast like 150 grain 300 Win Mag. So that is about it for the video, guys. I'm going to roll in a bunch of B-roll. Like I said, I do have an affiliate link for these, so if you were to buy anything from LAPG with my link, I make like 7%, so do not feel compelled to buy something unless you just want to throw me some cash. But very, very good plates. Again, 6.5 pounds, level 4 rated, NIJ tested. I believe they're certified, don't quote me on that, but they definitely held up really, really well, beyond 3+, because 3+ is only rated for like 5.56 62 grain, and this did way better against those. Again, we did shoot it 10 times with the 62 grain green tip ammunition, and it did just fine on everything except, of course, for the last 2 300 Win Mags, which again, not rated for, and if you could shot with a 300 Win Mag at like 30 feet, you probably wish you were dead anyway. So that's about it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know if you guys want me to check out any other really budget, really decent plates, because I did find this really fun and entertaining, and of course, these will save your life in a pinch. So that's about it for me, guys. Thank you guys once again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace off.